funding row over free school meals this half-term continued to gather pace today. The Conservative leader of Walsall Council has defended his decision not to provide extra money to cover the holiday period. But the council's Labour group leader has said neighbouring authorities have found the money from their budgets, and so should Walsall. Emma Thomas has sent us this report.
Feed our kids.
Feed our children. The message on protesters' placards outside Walsall Town Hall yesterday. On the high street today, shoppers echoed the sentiment.
I would not mind my taxis going up if it meant that vulnerable people were being looked after.
It is the responsibility of the parents, but if the government has inconvenienced them, then they should. How?
I think it's a really important issue. They should be able to, it's feeding kids at the end of the day.
Conservative-led Walsall Council says it cannot afford the £216,000 that it would cost to offer free school meals this half-term. Its Labour members aren't satisfied.
We can pull money out of the reserves. We've got a global budget of around 600 million. We can pull something to feed our children. We can think about the future later, but we need to feed our children now.
The leader of Walsall Council has defended the authorities' decision. I did speak to Councillor Mike Bird on the telephone this morning and was hoping to film with him this afternoon. Unfortunately, he became unavailable. However, he did have time to give a radio interview to BBC 5 Live.
The government stepped in when it was unforeseen that children were at home because the schools were closed, unless they were key worker children. Now, since then, the schools are now back, and therefore the half-term holiday was foreseen by parents. And I don't believe for a minute that there isn't enough money in the kitty for a child to be fed.
While the public sector offers an empty plate, the private sector is turning up the gas. Mogul Palace in Walsall is one of several businesses in the borough offering free takeaways to struggling families.
For somebody that's been in full-time employment to being reduced or part-time or no employment, it's a struggle for them regarding bills, regarding food, and for us to actually cater for those needs, it's amazing.
Inside the bag is a hot meal for children to savour this evening, but the debate surrounding holiday hunger shows no sign of cooling.
And Emma is live for us in Walsall tonight. This is still highly controversial, isn't it, for our political leaders, Emma?
It is, Nick. It's a divisive issue which has triggered an outpouring of public reaction. The Conservative MP for Wolverhampton South West, Stuart Anderson, has spoken of how both he and his family members have received death threats after he voted last week against handing out free school meals to children during half-term. Some of his colleagues in the Conservative Party have had their offices vandalised. Here in Walsall, the Conservative Council told me they do support low-income families throughout the year, just through other means. The government says it's handed out £63 million in additional funding to councils so that authorities can make their own local decisions about how best to support families in their area in the economic fallout of the pandemic. This evening I have heard the stories, the misfortunes of some families who've needed to accept the offer of takeaway meals. In some cases there are families where this time last year they were employed and self-sufficient. Now due to coronavirus they find themselves out of work and relying on the kindness of their community to feed their children.
Emma, thank you.